So here's our third video of Modern Warfare Critical Let's Play. We're going to be sticking with the Americans for a couple more missions. Just said in the bottom left hand corner quickly that this is day 3 of the conflict, I guess. So conflict's going to be a little bit shorter than Iraq and Afghanistan maybe. We just got ambushed by these windows. Game's giving me a new gun.
Let's go, Jackson. Follow me. Switch to night vision now.
More night vision, so these kind of opening American missions after the last one we saw as well are all very similar. But I do kind of like this. I guess again the spectacle. That's all these games are, is spectacle. Just all the lasers pointing at the building. But of course the enemies don't have lasers because they don't have the superior technology of the West, which is a recurring theme as well of the games, a recurring problematic theme. It's not just a glorification of technological warfare, it's a glorification of Western dominance through technological warfare, really. That's kind of what all kind of modern military games are trying to do. Like, look how much more powerful we are, look at our technology, look at our unmanned drones, oh shit, and our grenade launchers. And that is certainly something worth critiquing.
We'll cover this entrance. Go.
Oh. You get an achievement for saving him, but I guess I already have it. So you still have these lasers sticking in higgledy-piggledy, and they're not just, you know, they weren't not pre-programmed language lasers, but a kind of representation of the fact that there are so many different people on this battlefield doing different things, which goes back to something I've said several times already I really enjoy about these games, is that feeling of just being one soldier. Our first stationary turret moment, which I'm sure we'll see plenty more of.
Be advised, more enemy troops are converging on the tank. Get there ASAP.
Roger that. We're working on it. Out.
Clear. Clear.
What the hell are we doing here? I always get lost here because these soldiers are like kicking down this door and you're like, alright, I guess that's where I'm going. And we just walk into a dead end and go, clear. It's like, thank you guys. I really enjoyed walking into that dead end. It's probably the main issue I guess a lot of people have with all these games is, you know, they really depend on you just following orders, but sometimes, well, a lot of the time, those orders aren't very clear. So we have another slightly open little battlefield skirmish. Whoops, sorry dude. You know, we can go around the side or through the middle or whatever. Bastards.
UAV recon spotted enemy tanks headed this way. Rifle Jackson, pick up the tower and take out those tanks. Enemy in the open.
Someone died and dropped their javelin missile launcher. So again, we have another, hey, here's a cool big technological dominance thing for you to use. I have to get back to the roof. Whoops, I got disorientated there.
Jackson, get to the second floor and take out those tanks.
Oh my god. Let's pretend that didn't happen. Ah.
Tanks headed this way. Jackson, pick up the
Try that again.
We got a man down! Jackson, get to the second floor and take out those tanks!
Oh, what? I dropped my machine gun for it? Oh, I thought you just picked it up. So here you just have this massive high-tech missile launcher. Again, it's very much, yeah, so just all these missions really are just one after the other. Look at our technological dominance. Isn't that cool? So there's real kind of empowerment theme happening in a game which is all about just following orders and doing what you're told. That paradox of the whole game's just returning over and over again. My machine gun's still there. I really like that he falls over when he does that. Just those little animations in the allies just really contribute to it.
North of the overpass! Where the hell are you? We're almost there. Hang on. The tank's on the other side of that overpass. Come on, let's get back to the squad.
Like you have these missiles, these RPGs coming through here, suggesting there's people being shot at over there. Which indeed there are, the people you're going to save.
Alpha 6, what's your status? Over.
This is a terribly frustrating skirmish. Hopefully I don't have too much trouble with it. It's just
Contact to the east and flanking to the south.
I'm about to die. That was close. So that's the tank I'm trying to rescue, because these enemies don't have the javelin launcher like we do, because they're not American. But they have a lot of men who all look the same, of course, and who don't have names, unlike my people.
Bravo 6, be advised.
God.
Hostiles assembling to the west of your position. Over.
So this is a section you really just have to keep moving forward, but moving forward is such a pain.
Negative, Bravo 6. There's an enemy ZPU to the south of your position. Until you take it out, we cannot risk sending in any more choppers. Over.
Jackson, find that CPU and take it out so we can get some air support. Lopez, James, cover him. All right, let's move out.
So a lot of time you have to remember what your character's name is as well. The game never really tells you that. So like, if you're just playing as though you're just some avatar,
Bravo 6. There's an enemy ZPU to the south of
you know, when he says Jackson, take out that gun, you're not going to be thinking, alright, I'm Jackson. It's not a big kind of known name like Master Chief or whatever, it's just a name.
James, cover him. All right,
So if you weren't paying attention on the loading screens,
approach, move.
oh my god. Alright, let's try that again. So it's that real kind of constant 2 steps forward, 1 step back kind of gameplay. So through there you can see that light flashing, which is the gun I have to take out. Or just environmental framing, which I'm just going to be pointing out over and over again because I really enjoy it. Whoop. Should be using flashbangs more.
safe distance.
Oh my god.
To go. Jackson, do it. Jackson, I've got air support on the way, but they need our exact location. Plant the IR beacon and get their attention. Out.
Pretty sure they could find us. Oh well. So you see this over and over again, the kind of,
Okay. Positive ID on your response.
you know, being given objectives in the middle of a battlefield just a kind of excuse to move through it rather than stay still, not just kill everyone, which of course you also see a lot of. And now some more technological dominance of a battlefield, with helicopters with lots of missiles. You know, there's nothing to do except just kind of sit here and watch these two predatorial helicopters just move in and do all the work. So now it becomes less about me being powerful and more about just being a spectator for this power.
2. You see anyone left down there? Negative. We got him. Roger that.
You know, you just kind of just fly on the wall, listening to them talk to each other about their mission.
Command, LZ is secure. Bring in the...
You know, your nice upswelling music because, yay, America, killing everyone.
They're on the way. Good work. Out.
Squad, regroup at the tank. Let's go.
Listen up. We don't have much time to get this tank out of here. We'll take up defensive positions around the bog, here, here, and here, and buy the engineers some time to get the tank moving. Hoorah!
So we continue to stay with Jackson. There's quite a few of these, I think we do. Yep, so we stay with Jackson now. No, right, I'm completely wrong. We don't do that. So we go over and do something with the SAS. Right, I remember what we do. I was totally forgetting. And then we return to Jackson the next morning, kind of thing. So we're back at Soap now with Nikolai, who we saved from the bad Russians. Camera has us looking out the window as default, so we can see this missile coming in. Which is something else the game often does, not just framing by the environment, but it actually just makes sure it plonks you down looking in the direction it wants you to look. Which arguably is heavy-handed. Again, I guess I play these games like an actor and a cameraman combined, so it just seems like the right thing to do to me.
You're still in one piece. Get up. Come on, we need to get moving before the search parties get here. Casualty report.
Paulson and both pilots are dead, sir.
Bugger. All right,
Of course everyone's dead except us. Story characters.
Bravo 6, this is Faceplate. AC-130 gunship support is on the way, but it will take some time before they will be in a position to assist. Over.
Copy. Bravo 6 out.
An AC-130, eh? Haven't worked with one of those in a while.
The AC-130 is the
From the north.
Get under that.
Death from Above gunship stage, which comes after this, and is, I guess, the pinnacle of Western technological dominance in this game, perhaps. Which we'll either see later in this video or in the next video, depending on how long this level takes me.
Hold up. We've got
You, sir.
Что здесь происходит? Что тебе надо?
Не надо
I
прикидываться,
think that's the only civilian you see in this whole game.
что вы их где-то прячете.
Кто прячется? О чем ты говоришь?
Там у вас британские солдаты.
Oh, you're still alive.
Area clear. Alright, let's keep moving.
I like these levels that are very much just kind of Russian countryside. They remind me of playing DayZ. I think this is the first time you have to lay down in the game.
The hell is moving away?
So you very much here, and we will on the later Chernobyl mission as well. Just see very explicitly how the whole game works in its kind of following orders manner. You know, Price tells you to stay down. If you don't stay down, you will die. Like, that is what you do there.
Return fire.
So it's constantly just following orders as both an actor and a character.
Door open now. I'm on it.
So it just further kind of
Get in the house. Go.
stresses the just a part of it thing rather than being in charge.
So, take point and scout ahead for an exit.
Come back up to the window and... Again, I like that kind of using the environment of a house. Oh shit. I like that using the environment of a house to kind of circle you back around to the front where the Russians are chasing you, to kind of remind you that they're there. Oh, I did it again. Oh, which way am I going? Just kept holding down fire.
Probably regrouping, trying to cut us off somewhere up ahead.
Stay sharp.
My earphone's falling out. So you have this weirdness in this level, kind of just suddenly the people chasing you disappear. They decide to go in front of you instead or whatever. Your introduction to dogs. So I guess by this point we've got the kind of paradox of well, one of the many paradoxes in these games coming out. Swapped guns since I was running out of ammo. So we've got, in contrast to the World War II, one man on a battlefield of many men kind of thing of the previous games. Now we have the kind of the elite squad doing elite special operations, whatever. Except now that elite squad is just running through a battlefield of hundreds of enemies and shooting all of them. So now we've kind of gone full circle from a war isn't won by heroes kind of rhetoric to you're a bunch of heroes. And that's what I mentioned in the first episode about how the game works in confines of the kind of genre that its and design conventions that its predecessors brought in. And so you just kind of see that blueprint still here of like these battlefields like this, despite telling a more character-focused, special forces focused mission where you're not just any soldier, you actually are some kind of Master Chief kind of character. So I find that really interesting just because like the design is so transparent, what it's kind of stuck with because of what previous Call of Duty games did. And you kind of see over the three games
Hold on, the helicopter's back.
the way it slowly just comes to accept that that is what it is. A kind of an action movie essentially as opposed to a battlefield simulator.
Alright, let's press on.
Here the two kind of work together alright. In number 2 you have just the most mundane battlefields with the most scripted cinematic bits, and it really doesn't work well together. But by the time you get to Modern Warfare 3, I've kind of almost done away with the Battlefield Simulator for just pure cinematic. Which is why most people hated it and why I really enjoyed it.
Stay out of the spotlight.
But here that kind of uneasy tension is kind of still a bit balanced.
Let's move, but stay low.
I enjoy that bit where you can't see the helicopter but you just watch for light on the opposite wall. Much like the rockets flying overhead in the previous part. This part's meant to be stealth, but I always screw it up. Even though it's just following people. One of those parts where you're told what to do, but not very clearly. Or you're expected to go first. I can't remember. I wasn't listening, I'll be honest. But then the second they see you, it's over.
Head for the far end of the field. Watch out for the helicopter!
What? Not sure if I've seen that happen before. These little environments are kind of another good example of what I was saying about earlier. Maybe in the past episode, I can't remember, about kind of a dynamic battlefields. It was the last episode, sorry. How like, sure you're doing the same thing over and over, but there's enough little things that can change moment to moment that it never feels that repetitive. Like just this little area here, I've done this level over so many times, but I'm still constantly looking to see where the enemies are because they're not always in the same place. It's not a game you can memorize, it's a game where you can only ever kind of just go through the motions. Which makes it much more satisfying to replay than some other games. Yeah, like grenades could be anywhere. Oh shit, didn't see a helicopter. Oh no. This reminds me of that Half-Life level, what's it called, Surface Tension, where that helicopter's doing laps and you guys... It becomes this kind of game of perspectives. We just got to play, if I can't see you, you can't see me kind of children's games. Barn full of surface-to-air missile launchers. What are the chances? Whoops, sorry, Price.
So, grab a stinger and take out that chopper. Move!
How fortunate.
Bloody hell! It's popping flares! This won't be easy. So, grab another stinger and fire again. Let's put him to the test. shooting this soap. Good work, Soap. Everyone on me. Let's move out.
Bravo 6, be advised that AC-130 is entering your airspace at this time. Out.
So now we get a big gun, which we will control on the next level. But I think what's really important here is our introduction to it and how.
Fire mission, danger close. Enemy armor and infantry, 100 meters to the southwest of our location. Over.
Copy. Coming down.
So there's just massive destruction and violence and horror. Well, that guy's not really horrored by it.
Bravo 6.
Injured people who just kind of just instantly turn zombified in front of our eyes, which is kind of funny.
Moving now. Out. Let's go.
So you got this real kind of look at the kind of over the top horror of this gunship. But of course, when we're controlling it, it's a very kind of dulled FUD. It's very kind of removed in distance. Which I will say for the next video. But I find it a fascinating level for its kind of, again, continuing that kind of technological dominance, celebratory kind of weirdness, where this opening cutscene is really just all about what this gunship is, like what weapons it has. Like, it's such a weird kind of thing, like, look at all these phallic objects sticking out of it, bizarreness. But then the level itself is just really as a contrast. But we'll go into that in the next mission, in the next video. So